everyone. I hope your day's going well, and I want to thank you for joining me today for another video, another project in our Sunflower Dragonfly Journal. And today we are going to do a flip out. I have come to the conclusion that flip outs are one of my favorite things to do. I tend to do quite a few of them, and I guess I like them more than pockets. They give me a little bit more of a challenge than a pocket does. So anyhow, we have this page here, and what it is, it's on the back of our page that we did yesterday that is on map that my friend Kai had given to me, some maps. And we're going to create this flip out on the back side of this page. So what we have first is a picture that I had taken, just like yesterday I had used a picture that I had taken of the sunflower fields here near me. And then I did a close-up one with the bee that's on the sunflower. And that makes our first flip out here. And then I have some coffee stained copy paper that I have a hinge on, and I've sewn it together with a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but I only used the top half of my page to sew it on with. And then inside we have a pocket, and in the pocket is a large tag, and there's more journaling space on the back of that tag. So this might be a little bit more involved than what the last couple of projects are, but it's not by any means difficult. So let's set this aside, and we will start with taking our page, our map page that we have here, and we're going to work on the back side of it. So I think I had mentioned before, maybe in another video, when I add an element to one side of one of my pages in my journal, and it tends to be a little bit heavier, then I like to balance that off on the back side. And so that's what we're doing anyhow. We want to start with creating our little pocket down here. This little pocket is very, very simple. Okay, so for my pocket across the bottom, I have this scrap piece of paper that I had punched out some circles for another project. And I want to use this bottom part here for my pocket. So I'm going to just take my straight edge, move our page, and I'm just going to tear this off. This actually could make a pretty good stencil, these circles here, so I think I'll save that. And there we have this, and it's a little too wide, so we want to shorten that up a little bit, and then we want to ink up the edges of this. And then I will glue that on 3 sides with my art glitter glue. So the 2 short sides and the bottom long side. And put that right down on my page like this. I made this, I didn't even measure it, but I made it like a 1/2 inch. Okay, so if my page measures 6 3/4, my pocket is going to measure 6 1/4, so it's a 1/2 inch smaller than the width of my page. And for height, you can do like whatever you want. Mine just happens to be 2 1/2 inches here. And then on top of that, I'm going to add just some scrap pieces that I have just laying around here. I kind of would like to see if I have a piece with a sunflower on it that might work. Don't. So being that I want to use up some of my scraps, I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. It's brighter than the background, so it sticks out anyhow. And I'll ink up the edge of that. And that's going to go over here on the side like this. And then I have some of these little, they're not really chipboard, they're kind of like wooden, but I want a cogwheel and I want a heart to put on my page here. And underneath that, I want to add some string, and the strings are just some threads that I have pulled from my fabric. They're from what I've cut off when I've sewn something, or if I'm fraying some fabric or whatever. And then I just have these strings, and so I just save them, and then I can use them in my project for some texture. I have a white one here that will help with that. And another white one. I'm running low. And then some more brown ones. Okay, so I will just glue this down. I don't want to glue this above the pocket is what I don't want to do. There we go. And then I'll just spread a little bit of glue here for my strings and put them in place like that. And then on top of that, I have some texture, and in here is just some small pieces of texture. And I want to take this that has a little bit of color on it right here and add that on also. Sorry, I'm not in screen. So I'll put that on here like that. My fuzzy wants to stick to me. And then I have my cogwheel, and I'm going to leave it just as it is. I kind of like the way it looks. Just add some glue around the outside edge of it and right in the middle, and push that down. And my heart, where did my heart go? There it is. And then I'll put my heart down here beside it like that. And so that creates my little collage that I want on my pocket. Inside our pocket, we're going to make a big tag. And for the big tag, I have chosen another piece of my digital, and it measures 4.5 by 7 3/4. I've inked up around the outside edge and the back edge, and I put my lines on for journaling. So to decorate this tag, on the top, let's put our page aside for a second. I have this yellow piece of cardstock, and on that I want to stamp some journaling lines. Like that, and I've inked up around the edge. We're not going to see the back, so we're not going to do anything there. And that's going to go on here like this. And then I have a cutout from my digital collection that will go on the top as a header. But underneath all of that, I want to put some of my drywall tape. So I'll cut a piece of drywall tape, and I will put some glue down here to hold that in place. Put my drywall tape on top of that. And then I have this piece from my digital collection from the ephemera, and I'm going to glue that down just across the top like this. And then on the bottom here, I have a piece of fabric. Now this fabric is some fabric that I got from Joann Fabrics, and it is called a watercolor. It's from a watercolor collection, and I'm calling them sunflowers. I'm not sure if they're supposed to be sunflowers or not, but they certainly have the color of it, and so I'm calling them sunflowers. And I have taken a strip and cut a strip and frayed it. It'll fit on my pocket bottom just like that. And then I have another piece of cardstock, which is actually a little wider than I want. So I'm going to pull some of this off. And then re-ink up the edge of that. And then see how it looks. That's better because I didn't want to hide all of that pretty fabric. So this is just a piece of the cardstock that I've been using throughout the whole journal. And then on top of that, I have one of our quotes, also from the digital collection. This one says, "Many flowers open to the sun, but only one follows him constantly. Heart, be thou the sunflower, not only open to receive God's blessing, but constant in looking to him." And that quote is by Jean Paul. So let's put some glue on here, and I've inked up on the edges of this already. And our quote is going to go actually right over here on this side. Okay, and that completes our tag for our journal, for our page. So we can take this and slide this down in our pocket. Now I will take this on my own time. I will take this tag and I'll do a zigzag across here and across here. I will take my pocket and I will go around my pocket with a zigzag. So, okay, now let's make our flip out that we have. Flip out starts with a piece of corrugated cardboard that I have pre-gessoed up. And on top of that, we're going to put a picture of a sunflower that I had taken here. And we also need a hinge for our journal. And I'm going to use a piece of my digital. And this hinge measures 3 inches by 4 1/4. Now this can vary too. It just happens to be that it is about the length of my piece of corrugated cardboard. So I can glue this down onto my hinge, which is going to be, I'm going to do it on the wrong side so that when I open this up, I see my printed paper, not the wrong side of not the back side of it. I wouldn't call it a wrong side, but a back side of it. So that makes the hinge there. And then my sunflower can go here on top. So I don't want to put any glue past this point here. And then I'll put that right on top of my corrugated cardboard, bringing it down a little and over to the right a little. You can put it right on top, but I like the cardboard, and so I like to have it show. If I'm going to use it, I want it to show. Okay, and that creates our first flip out. We can take and we can stamp some journaling lines on there. And on the bottom. There we go, we have that. Now the second part of our flip out consists of 2 pieces of coffee stained copy paper. 2 pieces? No, I only did 1. I want to ink up around the edge of this. This one's lighter. Some of the other ones I used were a little darker and didn't really need it, but this one, it will show on this one. So we'll just do that real quick here. On the bottom of this, I'm also going to put another piece of my drywall tape here. Drywall tape is self-adhesive, and then by the time I glue more on top of that, it's not going to go anywhere. So I have, for my collage, I have a piece of the blue cardstock that I've been using. I want to put that down next. Right there. And then I have a piece of the fabric, the watercolor fabric. And I'm going to put some glue on that. And put that here. And then I have a scrap piece of the, yesterday when we pulled off some of that matte paper to make a window, I saved the pieces that I used. And so I'm going to put a piece of that on here, and that kind of pulls the papers together. And that can go right over top of the fabric like that. And then on top of that, in my little box here, I'm going to choose something that can lay on top of that just for a little extra. And I have in here some pieces of What they are is just pieces of binding from a book when I tore an old book when I tore it apart. And the binding is really cool texture to add to any of your projects. Now, again, on my own time, I'll go across and I'll do a zigzag stitch here. I want to take this piece of paper. I have some waxed cord here and it's brown, and my needle. And I'm going to sew this into my hinge that I created on our first piece with just a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, just something really simple. So I'll take my hinge and open it up and put my page in here. Now you can put this like wherever you want here. I do have, on my other one, I had some trim hanging down here, and I'll see if I can find a piece to put in there. But anyhow, I'm going to decide that's where I want that. So I'll open this up and I'll go down through about the middle of my hinge, and then I am going to come back up through and then I will, let's see here, go all the way down to almost the end and come back out. And then I'm going to come back up through again so that my tails are on the center of my book. And I hope I have enough thread. I'm sorry. There we go. I think we have just enough thread there, or cording there. And that gets our paper sewn into our hinge. We'll pull that tight and we'll give it a square knot. Now the reason I'm doing it this way is because I want this paper to open up all the way. If I would have glued, I would have had to glue this paper in. If I would have glued it into my hinge, then it wouldn't have opened up all the way. And I wanted all 4 sides to show when it was all done. So then I will take this page, and my hinge is opened. Let's move our journal card out of there for a moment. And I'll put some glue on that. And then decide where I want it. And we're gluing it to the left-hand side of our page, which would be the open side, not the spine side. And I'm going to want my page right there. So let me open this up and I'll press down on my hinge. Now see, if I would have glued my hinge down and then glued my paper to it, this would not have came up. Same thing over here. If I would have attached my hinge to this page, then this would have been one unit. I wanted it all to be loose so that it all could be used. So there we have it. It's so simple, so easy. It looks like it's very involved, and it's really not in that involved. So I want to get a piece of texture to hang down here. Let me see if I have anything that would work at this point. I had, hold on. This is packaging, and it's what I used on the other one, and I want to put some of this across the bottom of here. Probably not, let's see, not that wide, maybe this part of it. So let me just pull this apart. Save that for another day. Open up our paper here, put a stream of glue across the bottom, and then we'll just press our packaging right down onto that. And there it is. Now we'll close this up and see if it's too long. I don't think so. I like the way it's all kind of connecting here, so I'm good with that. There is our flip out. Just many pieces to it, but it's not difficult. So you guys got this. You can do this. Look at that. All right. Thanks again for watching, and I hope your journal's coming along fine if you're making one, and if not, I hope you're getting lots of ideas that you can use in another journal that you might be working on. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. We shall see you again soon. Bye now.